Well, where does one start with energy efficiency in the Balkans, where there is a total lack of understanding, a total lack of competent public buildings and the structures to put this into place? Most of what needs to be done is basic common sense. The problem is the possession of common sense is far from common. And it has to make sense to make buildings more efficient, to use less energy, all of which is going to get more expensive in the future. And where to start? Public buildings, users of public tax and taxpayers' money is a key area for that, because they are already existing under EU law. There has to be, towards the end of this decade, there have to be a certain proportion of buildings converted to more energy efficiency methods, and therefore public buildings have to show the way. I appreciate in these times of economic difficulty, it can be difficult, but they produce savings. Public buildings are there for a long term, and they are therefore a key area for that to happen. And by pointing the way, and enabling other buildings to be renovated, they show how it can be done. Private investors, generally speaking, are more interested in a short-term approach. When they build a building, they want to get rid of it as soon as possible for as good a price. But what was so interesting is that more and more end users are demanding efficient buildings so that they are not having to have the costs associated with high energy usage. Because they need to save money, therefore they are more interested in buildings that save money for their own use. And that is a market driver that will, through time, become more and more prevalent. In our own work in the Green Building Council in Montenegro, we are pushing sustainable practices, and we are fortunate in having members who are also committed to this end in terms of making sustainability a feature of their buildings, because they realize that a building is not just something that you put up and is used for a year or two. It can be there for 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100 years. And in that time, it will consume an enormous amount of energy, and it is responsible for an awful lot of usage of resources. Therefore, making it as efficient as possible by using less energy, by enhancing the insulation, it will inevitably have a totally beneficial effect on society as a whole.